Give me 5 minutes here. All right. We're going to stick to it 5 minutes and we're going to get into how to reverse engineer your business. So an example of this is if you've been trying to sell 20 cars and every single month you cannot sell 20 cars, this is for you. If your dealership, you've been trying to sell 200 cars a month and you hadn't been able to hit that 200 cars a month, this is for you. If you're trying to do 1,000 cars a month and you hadn't been able to hit that, this is for you. So what's going on, everybody? This is Cage, and it's 5 minutes with Cage. And before we even get going, thank you so much in advance for sharing your time, your energy, your love. I'm not even going to hit the music on this one because I really want us to get into it and talk about why am I talking about reverse engineering, and how to get to our goals. That sounds so cliche, right? Well, I'm doing it because a lot of new months, what our team does is we love goals, man. We have an acronym called GPA, which is goals, plan, action. Set the goal. Now let's make sure we come up with that plan. And then what is the action that we need to take, right? And I always love GPA because my GPA in high school, especially in college, was not the best. But your boy had goals, right? And if you have goals, I think that's better than being smart sometimes and having the academics, because it's that mindset that keeps us going. So at the beginning of the month, we like to ask teams, how many cars do you want to sell? We'll hear them say, I want to sell 10. I want to sell 20. And then you'll have dealers say, I want to sell $150. And then when you ask them, okay, how many customers do we need to sell the amount of cars that you want? Crickets, so many times, right? So if we ask a salesperson, hey, how many cars would you really want to sell? What's that record that you've always wanted to hit? And they'll sell 25. Okay. How many customers do you believe that you'll need to get in front of to sell those 25? And they're like, I don't know, 25. And I'm like, oh, so you're batting 100. So every customer you get in front of, you're closing. They're like, oh no, some people have bad credit, some people are upside down, and some people, it just doesn't work out. I said, exactly. So what percentage of the customers that you talk to do you actually convert into a sale? And that's what we're going to talk about today. And we did this, back in my retail days. I love doing this at the beginning of the month. It was fun to get with my team, get with the whole department heads, everybody, and be like, what's our goal? What are we going to do? But you could not just say you're going to sell a certain amount of cars. If you're going to sell a certain amount of cars, you better come with some, you know what I mean? You better come with a plan and an action, like the action steps that you're going to take to make sure that you all get that. And then you hold yourselves accountable to review that every single week, right? Because that's a forecast, a goal. Well, then from there, what do we got to do? We got to make sure that we're tracking it. And then my previous employers, they called it track and adjust every single week. And I was like, I love this. Dealers, we need to do this so much. Every single week. Are we on track or off track? If we're off track, you need to adjust what? Not the goal, not the target. You need to adjust your outputs, right? We have to adjust something. We might have to adjust our marketing play. But the first step is knowing, y'all. We got to know, right? So right here, you see to the left, I've got this math. I'm going to blow it up a little bit. And it talks about if you wanted to sell 20, here's a good example. Find out how many people you need to get in front of. And so what I'm doing here is a control system. So a lot of this has to do with internet customers. But imagine if you were going to sell 20 just off of appointments. What if your dealership was going to sell 200 vehicles just off of appointments? The very next piece of math you need to know is how many appointments need to show in order to sell that many cars. See that? And so if you're closing at, so here, if your show to sold rate is 67%, 2/3, then you're good. You need to get in front of 30 people or 300 people need to have an appointment to come into your store, right? But then now how many appointments do we need to set to get that many people here, Durran? You need to set 40 appointments to get 30 to show up. And some of you are like, Durran, I thought it was a 50% show rate. Not in 2026. You should be having a 75% show rate or higher. And if you're not doing that, message me. I'll show you how you do it. You can do videos, pictures. There's so many things. It could be your CRM. That's easy money, right? But know these numbers. Know your contact to set. Your set to show. Your show to sold. So the next time somebody comes to you and they say, hey, how many cars are you going to sell and how you're going to get there? You got the blueprint. Hey, gratitude. Thank you so much for being here. And listen, if you want like a roadmap or a prompt that I can give you to work through this, maybe with your digital assistant on how to reverse engineer your math, like if you're not like one of them nerdy math people like me, send me a message, drop me a DM or something that just says reverse engineer or something like that. And I'll send you a little blueprint. But until next time, y'all, thank you so much for sharing your time, your energy, and your love. Until next time, be well. Gratitude.